So Obi-Wan Kenobi, the brand new series from Disney Plus, is now finished. We now got our finale, so that means we can have a little talk about it in context of everything. Have a little overview of it. I know I said in my episode 6 review that I was going to do it in that video, and then I thought I'll just do a separate one. You know, I'm back and forth on these plans. But yeah, we're just about over the hump. And then we don't have to talk about this ever again. It's something that's going to be forgotten in a couple of weeks. Something that people are going to forget existed. It really is. You know, it's always funny when it comes to whether it's Star Wars or Marvel. You know, people defend the shit out of them. And then when it comes to later on, it's like no one remembers it. Most people will then accept that it was shit. And that's just what the entire series was. It was just terrible. But, you know, I wasn't really... That's what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be that way because we're dealing with Disney. Again, Disney haven't been putting their best work out there for a very long time. Very, very long time. And especially with Star Wars. But yeah, we're just going to continue to get this stuff, and it's just going to carry on. And it's never going to get better. You know, I reckon there's some people out there that hold out hope that the next one's going to be better. And I'm just going to break it to you that no, it's probably not. It's probably not because, again, the leadership, the people that are chosen to write these shows, do not have the ability for it. They do not have the talent. People like Kathleen Kennedy is untalented. She has no talent. That is why Star Wars is in the shape it's in. It really is. Another aspect of it is because people just accept it. That, you know, they just accept any trash hand-fed to them and just go, yeah, that's great. That's great. So what happens is people just continue to produce trash. They don't need to care because you don't care. So that's really why Star Wars is what it is. You know, it's dead. It is dead. It's just something that's being kept on life support. You know, I'm quite happy for it to die. I really am. Just because, you know, unless someone's going to come in and fix things, which I don't think is going to happen, at least not for a very long time. You know, there's just no point in it. There really isn't. There's no point holding out hope. You know, you might as well just accept, you know, it's dead. It's just dead. But we're here to talk about the Kenobi series, so we might as well. We're just going to kind of take it episode by episode, and don't worry, I'm not going to go that into detail. It's more of just pulling out the major plot points, those kind of things. So if we start off with episode 1, the whole episode was basically how do we get Obi-Wan Kenobi to leave his responsibilities, that being Luke? How do we get him to do that? So what we have happen is Leia gets kidnapped, and Organa decides the best person for the job would be Obi-Wan Kenobi, even though he's got his own job to do. You know, Organa could have got bounty hunters, his own guards. He could have got all these different types of people. But no, he went for Obi-Wan Kenobi. And again, people are going to say, well, he doesn't try. It's like, I'm pretty sure the bounty hunters, if you pay them well, they're just going to go and retrieve Leia, get her back to you. You want to keep certain things a secret, but him bringing Obi-Wan Kenobi into the situation doesn't help Obi-Wan Kenobi or Luke. You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi at the end of the episode decides to leave Luke. Meanwhile, the Inquisitors and stuff like that are hanging about. They're sniffing around Tatooine. So it's the worst possible time to leave. But he does. Again, there's so many stories. People like to think that, no, this was the only way. This is the only story that Lucasfilm could tell. It's like there's so many options to choose from where he stays on Tatooine. You don't need Leia. You don't need all these other characters. You can just throw them out the door. You know, one of the ideas I've heard, which I believe was what the series was meant to be, was there's some, like, say, gang war on Tatooine, and Luke Skywalker is he's in the crossfires. So that's the kind of that sounds a lot more interesting. And I believe the original writer on the show, his take, because he's been credited on them, but the Kathleen Kennedy came in and vetoed the entire thing, got rid of it because apparently it was too dark. But basically what this writer said was it was about Obi-Wan questioning his faith, that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, that would have been interesting. I imagine the people that worked on this Kenobi series are acting like they've done a very good job. They again, just to point out, the director of this series compared it to Todd Phillips' Joker film. She said it's very character driven. It's like Joker. It's like, no. It's like, yeah, she admitted that not the tone, but at least in the sense of, character focused, which that turned out to be a big fat lie. It was nowhere near that. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't really compare your dog shit to greatness. You shouldn't do it because it just makes it look 100 times worse. But yeah, episode 1 was basically, how do we get Obi-Wan Kenobi to leave? As I think I said, I'll tell you how. Don't do it. Just don't do it. But no, we had to do it. We had to have all this shite happening because we couldn't come up with something compelling. We couldn't come up with something just focusing on Obi-Wan Kenobi. We have to bring in all these other aspects when you didn't need to. But yeah, then we go into episode 2. And this was the episode on another planet that Obi-Wan Kenobi is looking for Leia. Again, he finds her very, 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 very quickly without any... Again, when it comes to this series, there's no build-up to anything. It's just like, right, well, now we need this to happen, so there you go, it happens. That's all it is. There's no gradual build-up. There's none of that. So, of course, he finds Leia in that episode, and the big revelation on that was the reason why... So the reason why Reva took Leia in the first place was to draw Obi-Wan Kenobi out. And how she knew this was apparently she looked in the archives that for 10 years, nobody within the Empire thought to have a look at. And she apparently found a connection between Senator Organa, and Obi-Wan. So that means, she's betting on that Organa's still in contact with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan will agree to do, she's counting on so many things. And it's just contrived as fuck. It really is. It really is. These archives that nobody thought to look at before, until Reva. So that was a big revelation of that episode, and also it turns out that, well, the writer didn't know that Obi-Wan Kenobi knew that Anakin Skywalker was Darth Vader, even though in the prequels we have a scene of that where Palpatine says to Anakin, "Rise, Lord Vader," something along those lines. And I believe twice this comes up when Yoda says he's been consumed by Darth Vader. But the writer didn't know that. And also, because of course it's Reva that reveals that Anakin's still alive. So Obi-Wan should already know this. It's been 10 years. The only way he wouldn't know that is if he's been hiding, and in this series he's working a job, he's socializing out in Tatooine. So for the idea that it hasn't come up, that Lord Vader, it's never come up in 10 years. It has never come up. Also, he's been in contact with Organa. Organa would have told him this. He would have told him, oh, by the way, Anakin's still alive. He's still alive. So again, it doesn't work, this idea that Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't know who Vader is. Why did Organa never mention it? Never mentioned it. So it's just constant shit like that. It's like, yeah, it doesn't work. Again, Darth Vader has not been. It's not like he's been for the past 10 years. It's not like he's been just sitting on his ass hiding the whole time. No, he's been out. He's been hunting Jedis, doing this, doing that. So the idea that this has never gotten to Obi-Wan Kenobi is bullshit. Also, Reva knowing that Darth Vader is Anakin is also bullshit. Now, later on, in Episode 5, they go about trying to explain how she knows it's Anakin. They don't do a very good job. Because we know Reva's was in the Jedi school during Order 66. Who, by the way, got stabbed and then played dead. So that's why she's alive. I don't know. We live in the era of Star Wars where nobody dies. Nobody dies. You know, they started that with fucking Palpatine, where you know the fucking the space station. Why am I again? You know, if you've watched my first episode coverage, sometimes I forget shit. The Death Star. The Death Star exploded in space, but yet Palpatine survived. So it's just daft shit like that. But we were still on episode 2, weren't we? I'm just kind of following my train of thought, see where it takes us. But yeah, that was it. Reva knowing that Darth Vader was Anakin. Now, you have to be counting on that. So during Order 66, the stormtrooper, the clones are running about saying, "Here, Darth Vader" to Anakin and stuff like that. So that's apparently how she knows. That's the only guess I could make. But her just seeing Anakin strike down these kids doesn't, to go out on the limb and say, well, he's Darth Vader then. It's like, well, you know, how do you know that? How do you know that? You only know that if they're walking about saying Darth Vader, but which I don't think's the case. I do not think's the case. And then we go into, well, we've also got, you know, we're trying to bring up the canon aspects as well. So, yeah, with Leia and Obi-Wan meeting, yes, it doesn't happen. It doesn't. If you go to A New Hope, it doesn't match up. It doesn't match up the transmission to Obi-Wan. Again, again, Obi-Wan in this series saves her countless times. You know, they have a real connection. You know, no built-up connection. Just they have a connection. So in her transmission in A New Hope to Obi-Wan, it would have been more personal to her. She would have said, "You saved me many years ago." But no, she says, "You served my father years ago." And then even when Obi-Wan in A New Hope dies, again, from what they've shown in this series, she would have been distraught over this. But she wasn't. She was just, you know, kind of being a pillow for Luke Skywalker. She doesn't mention, oh yeah, you know, we had this adventure together. So there's countless things like that. Yeah, it doesn't line up. Taking what you can take from A New Hope, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. But then we go into episode 3, which to me it's you know, for me it's episode 3 versus episode 5 for being the worst episodes. I don't know. Some of the, you know, you go back and forth on it because they're all so bad. You know, episode 1 was, they didn't really do much to begin with, so there wasn't as many problems, at least up until the end. Up until when it started going a little bit, then that's when the problems appeared. Episode 2 was, it was still shit, but it just seemed to get worse and worse. Episode 3 was one, but again, you've also got to bring in episode 4, especially the trench coat shit. But yeah, episode 3. So going into episode 3. So this is when Obi-Wan Kenobi and Leia have landed on this planet where they're supposed to be meeting rebels that will take them back to Alderaan, and they wait at the location for a minute and then they leave. Also, an important thing to point out as well is, you know, how this affects Obi-Wan's character is, if you remember at the little gate scene, you know the bit where he could have just walked around it, but instead he decided to try and turn it off and then ultimately destroy it. Even that bit, it's like the civilian. He uses the civilian as a shield. That's what he does. You know, I don't believe that that's something that Kenobi would do. It's like, because a lot of people were trying to go off, well, you know, he sold him out to the Empire. It's like, still, Obi-Wan wouldn't do that with a civilian, an innocent civilian. So that there is other aspects like that that just damage his character. You know, setting aside all the retardation he has. But yeah, episode 4 is basically right now. We need Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi to fight again. This is something that within canon, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit that they met at all. Again, the best option would have been they don't meet at all, but they are close to each other. You know, it's more just Darth Vader senses. You know, he just senses it. That's it. That's as far as it goes. But again, when you're dealing with Star Wars, they can't resist. They need to have like these fights like this, because they ain't got a story to tell. They have not got a story to tell. So that is why that aspect is in it. And within episode 3, they also make Obi-Wan a cowardly, running away from Darth Vader. All these types of things like that, they make him a coward as well. But yeah, what else was happening in episode 3? So, well, really, again, like I've said countless times, it's things happening, but there's no story there. There is no story there. So the only thing you can really pull out of episode 3 is Vader and Obi-Wan fighting. Again, this is an episode that also makes Vader dumb as well. You know, when it comes to after their fight, you know, when Vader decides to drag him into the fire, which again Vader would just kill him. That's what Vader would do. But when he drags Obi-Wan through the fire, eventually Vader uses the Force to wipe the fire out. And then as Obi-Wan Kenobi's, you know, when the woman comes down to save him, and the robot, like the flames are going, and he's just like, oh, it's like, you just use the Force on those flames, just do that, and you can get to him and kill him. And people are going to say, well, he wanted him to get away. He wanted him to get stronger. It's even though the stormtroopers were shooting at Obi-Wan Kenobi. If this was the case, he would have told the stormtroopers, stop firing. I want him stronger. Even though he wants him dead. Vader would just kill him. There's no toying around. No, it's just kill him. But that's what they do with the fire. It's like, yeah, Vader. I don't believe Vader would do this. Again, it's 10 years on from Anakin. There shouldn't be any sort of connection with Anakin. This is Vader. Vader has taken over. There is no more Anakin. So this should be Vader from the OT trilogy. And then also when Leia gets caught again, of course, that's something else. That's a lot of teleportation. That is. Where Leia's running through the tunnel, and Reva knows exactly where this tunnel comes out. She gets ahead of her, even though Leia has been running for, a long, long time. But, well, I suppose when we haven't even spoke about the chase scenes, have we? where Leia's, the first episode she gets chased by Flea out of the red hot chili peppers. And, grown adults can't catch a 10-year-old. A 10-year-old that, waddles when they run. They couldn't catch her then. And then they do it in the second episode again. When Obi-Wan can't catch her. There's even, if you actually pay attention, there's even a bit where Obi-Wan is right next to Leia where he could grab her, but lets her go. It's like, yeah, they're not that quick. But yeah, so episode 3 was just one of the worst. Then we go into episode 4, which again was another really bad episode. Really bad. It's like the more I think about it, it's just continuously gets worse and worse. Up until like episode 5, I was convinced that episode 3 was the worst. But yeah, I think I was wrong on that. I think it just got worse and worse and worse. So episode 4 was basically, right, now we need to get Leia back again. So you've got Reva interrogating a 10-year-old that really doesn't know anything, shouldn't know anything about all this stuff. There is, in episode 3, she does overhear certain things, but she doesn't know all the ins and outs of the rebels and the pathway, as they call it, on like how they get Force sensitive or Jedi's away from the Empire. She shouldn't know how. Why would a 10-year-old know the ins and outs of this? She just shouldn't. She really shouldn't. But yeah, that's Reva decides to interrogate this 10-year-old. And of course, there is major things in episode 4 as well. It's like, because we get a scene when Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to save Leia. We get a scene when they're on the dropship of him struggling to move a tiny little nut. But then about 20 minutes later, he can hold out the ocean using the Force on a window. So you see how that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't follow. It's like, no, a minute ago again they've done what they've tried to do is, show him struggling to do this. That's called a setup. But then they seem to think it's a payoff when 20 minutes later he can now use it to his full abilities. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You've established 20 minutes ago, maybe less, that he's struggling to do it. And again, we still don't know why he's struggling to do it. We don't know if it's because we haven't heard anything that he's cut himself off from the Force. It's either he's cut himself off from the Force or he's just emotionally lost the ability to do it because of certain things that have happened. But again, even though he should be training constantly when he's been on Tatooine, all the Jedi stuff, but he just doesn't. So yeah, that's with his Force powers. They just fuck it up. They really do mess it all up. And then of course in episode 4 we also got the infamous trench coat scene that people seem to think was an intentional joke. That was the defense of it. Oh, well, it's just comedy. So even if it was intended to be a joke, it fucks up the scene because you're trying to escape with Leia, so it's best to try and actually escape and not get caught. And again, it fucks up the scene because all these stormtroopers, all these generals, whatever, none of them seem to see 4 legs under a jacket walking. But I can tell you now, that was not intended to be a joke. They were dead serious when it came to that trench coat scene. They just were. But again, people have been defending it by saying Star Wars. Some people actually say Star Wars has always been shit, so this is allowed to be shit. Or it's just, well, it's always been silly. It's and something they reference is like because of why it's always been silly is because a stormtrooper banged his head. It wasn't like in the script. It was just like an accident. It was just one of those movie mistakes. But they try and use that as a justification for Star Wars to be dumb as fuck. Again, when it comes to defenses of it, for some reason, it only seems to be Star Wars or Marvel where this issue comes up, where people get so defensive over everything. The places they go to justify things. Again, we know the big argument is, oh well, it's what is it they say? It's about space wizards intended for children. And when people use that defense, it's because they don't have an argument. That they just go, oh well, it's for children. So, well, why are you watching it? But again, it's this belief that children's stories are bad. It's like, no, there's plenty of good children's stories that are written well, plenty to choose from. But that's the defense they go to. They go, oh, it's for children. It doesn't change anything. But there's so, or you get the people that make stuff up in their head. They just go, well, in my mind, this just happened. This, even though it didn't factually happen, didn't actually happen. but they'll make stuff up. I was having not an argument, but I was going back and forth with someone on Twitter during, I think it was after episode 2, and they were basically just using headcanon. They were going, well, yeah, basically saying, well, first of all, they said movies like don't explain things. That's apparently that's not how movies work. You know, they no, they don't explain things. You're just supposed to just make it up in your head. You're supposed to become the writer for the writer. That's what you get when it comes to Star Wars. You get people that start writing the story for them. It's like, no, that's not your job. That is not your job. But yeah, basically what this person was saying, oh, well, if you see some cracks, rather than trash it, you should make it, but you should fix it. So, well, no, I'm not doing their job for them. If they don't have something in there that, makes sense, then that's their fault. That's their fault. And again, it's never, this stuff, these stories, they're never going to get better if you just say, oh, well, it's all just great. It's never going to get better. That is why we're in the position we're in when it comes to not just Star Wars, but storytelling altogether, at least in terms of Hollywood. It's because people just, again, it's the consumer attitude. So people at Star Wars, people at Marvel, they feel like they don't have to try because you don't care. You don't care, you just make up shit. But yeah, it seems to only be Marvel and Star Wars that this shit comes up. Where it's, people say the episode's shit and then you get called toxic. I believe it was yesterday or the day before, there was people going after Star Wars Theory because he said that, well, because he criticized one of the episodes. And they said, oh, you're just toxic. That is just, that's the Disney Star Wars shills, that is. When it comes to, what a lot of people fail to understand is like, you're allowed to like whatever you want, but we're also allowed to criticize what doesn't make sense. When it comes to looking at storytelling, you can do it objectively, but people like to pretend it's all subjective. It's not. There's good quality, there's bad quality. That's just what it is. But again, people respond to things emotionally. So when you criticize it, for some reason they feel like they're being attacked. So no, we're just, you don't have to have the conversation, but to call other people toxic for having a conversation, to looking at it and going, well, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't, But it's just absolute insanity when it comes to these big properties. That's why. See if someone offered to debate me on Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'd say no. I would say no because I'm not wasting my fucking time. There's just people out there that you cannot convince. You can't. So that's why they're not even worth talking to. They really aren't. You're never gonna. Again, when it comes to people that are emotional, that have come to a position emotionally, you can't convince them out of that position. It's just never gonna happen. But back to Obi-Wan anyway. I think we went on a bit of a tangent then. But where were episode 4, weren't we? Yeah, there was just a lot of shit that came out of that spewing over online. Yeah, because I think it was JXE that put out a tweet about that trench coat scene, and all these people were melting down over it, just because JXE pointed out how terrible this scene was, how it doesn't work, and it's like people come out the woodwork. You're toxic. It's like people need to shut the fuck up with this toxic talk. They really do. I'm so sick of that term. It's toxic to criticize a piece of media that I'm infatuated with. But back to episode 4. Episode 4. So yeah, they save Leia. Again, they're done with that in an episode. Again, like I said, I believe in my episode 4 review, I did say that, they just set things up and then they're done with them for the episode, and then we're on to the next thing. That's what this series has been. On to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. Rather than having a narrative. There's no narrative. It's just, again, things happening, no story. There's no story. But yeah, that episode 4 was just a disaster. You know, even at it's like, because even when Obi-Wan Kenobi first goes into the Inquisitor's base, it's like he could have dressed as a stormtrooper. He killed a stormtrooper. He could have put that outfit on, and he would have been able to walk freely around this base. But he didn't take that, and also the Inquisitor base didn't have any shields to stop people getting in or anything like that. Didn't stop anything. I'm just trying to remember other parts of episode 4. No, it was pretty much just Leia's been taken again. Let's get her back. That's all it was. That's all it was, and not to mention the 1 minute Obi-Wan Kenobi can't use the Force, the next minute he can use it to the best of his abilities. Doesn't work. Doesn't work, has no impact. You know, this is something that if he had to lose his powers, you start off on the first or second episode, you set this up then. And then in the final episode, when he finally, or he just trains as we go along. You know, he just, episode by episode, he gets a little bit better. But no, we can't do that. We need to we need to find a solution to our problem here. So, right, Obi-Wan Kenobi can use the Force then. But that was episode 4. They rescue her, and then episode 5. Episode 5 was, you know, again, a really bad episode, but it just annoyed me the most. It really pissed me the fuck off. It was one of those episodes that as I was watching it, I was just screaming at the TV. You know, I say, you know, just shouting and not screaming, not going over the top. But just like, you know, it just happens. You just get so pissed off with the dumbness, which we will get to, because once we've kind of gave a summary of all the episodes, then we can start talking about characters. And that's a big problem in this show. A very big problem. But episode 5 was... So basically, what happens in episode 4 to get to episode 5 is Leia's little droid. Reva puts a tracker on it, fully expecting Obi-Wan Kenobi that day to come and save Leia, take Leia away. It's like you have Obi-Wan where you want him when he comes to the base, but you let him go. You let him go. And, well, the reason why they've done that is so when Vader does it in the OT, it was Reva's idea. It was Reva's idea all along. I guarantee you that is the reason they've done it. It's the fucking reason. That is the reason they've done it. So, yeah, basically, again, you didn't even need that tracker, because we all know where this leads to. Alderaan! That's where Leia's got to go. And also, when it comes to Alderaan, Senator Organa should be being questioned, be under scrutiny, possibly being tortured to find out information. Again, they know about this connection to Obi-Wan Kenobi. So he should be under scrutiny, but he isn't. But we'll leave that to the end. But yeah, so that's basically how they set up episode 5, is the droid. You know, it's bullshit. It is bullshit. You know, I've probably spoke about that droid quite a bit, just how much it pissed me off. Because episode 2, the kidnappers never took this droid off Leia. Episode 4, they never took this droid off Leia. I don't believe Reva was planning on all along to put a tracker on it. How do you even know Obi-Wan Kenobi can find you? How do you know all this stuff? Yeah, again, it's Reva. When it comes to Reva, she just bets on very thin shit. It's like, oh, I put a tracker on this because Obi-Wan Kenobi's going to come and I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail at my job, which is to get Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's what it's for. So, you know, in that end scene of... I know I said I was on episode 5, but we've still got to talk about episode 4. So, in that end scene when Vader storms in and throttles her. Yeah, she's dead. He would kill her. She's failed. It's like look at the absolute mess of the place because of her. Vader wanted Obi-Wan Kenobi. No, he wanted him. He didn't want to go put a tracker on him. No, he wanted him. You had him here. You had him here. So at that point, Vader would have killed her. You know, had this been real Star Wars, let's say, that will piss some people off. But yeah, let's just say real Star Wars. It's like, yeah, that's what he would have done. He would have offed her. But no, he didn't. So, right, now we'll move on to episode 5. Like I said, that annoyed the absolute shit out of me. Just so annoying. But basically, that episode is we've tracked Obi-Wan Kenobi to this other planet, rebel base, whatever you want to call it. So basically, it's about what they locked down the whole the Empire from up in their ship. They lock this place down. So the problem that needs to be fixed is to get these doors open so they can fly out of them. And again, you know, if you've watched my episode 5 review, you've seen me rant my fucking arse off about this. That they decide the best person for the job is a 10-year-old girl that doesn't know anything about electricity. Basically, well, it's as I think I did say in the episode 6, which I just done not long ago. But yeah, basically it's layers. I've bypassed the compressor. That's her scene of that. She just knows that. Again, this takes the whole episode. But yeah, that's who they went with. Again, it's shitty parenting, shitty guardianship, whatever. To just let a 10-year-old go and fuck about with electrical shit. It's like, nah. And again, when she turns up at this door, it's big enough. It is big enough to fit a fully grown adult in there. And I guarantee you that someone within that base knows about electrical shit. I believe there's even droids about. So there's countless opportunities for this. But no, they get the 10-year-old. You know. Which, again, she couldn't even fix her droid. You know, her little droid that I want someone to stomp the shit out of. She didn't know how to fix that, but she can... Yeah, okay, whatever you say, Disney. But that was really... That episode, they had nothing for Leia to do, and they thought that was the best fucking option. See when you notice the idiocy of characters or whatever in this series... that all reflects on the writers. That tells you, oh, the writers are dumb. That's what. It's not on the characters. It's on the person writing them. That is where the idiocy comes through. So that's her little fucking adventure that she does for that episode. And then it turns out, you know, we've already went over like how Reva knows about Anakin, that Vader is Anakin, which she reveals. During Order 66, she got struck down by Anakin. She didn't die, but she played dead, so they thought she was dead. Even though Jedis can sense these things. Especially from other Jedi. Why didn't she die? Again, see when you're stabbed with a lightsaber, you're fucking dead. You're dead. You know, unless you're stabbed in the arm or something. But if you're stabbed in the body... You are fucking dead. Dead. You're dead. I don't know how many times I need to say it, but you're dead. So that's basically... And then, you know, as we know, it turns out that... Well, we don't know why she... If she's just seen Anakin, there's no way she can connect that to Vader. There's just no way. Absolutely no way. And then basically it turns out that Reva's been... Well... Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of presents it in a weird way. He says to he starts telling Reva a history, but he tells her, so you've been hunting Vader. So you work with Vader. So how was it hunting him? How was that hunting? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that means. But yeah, she's like, so she's been wanting to kill Vader really, and the way it's set up is so. she goes around, Reva goes around, hunts down Force-sensitive Jedis, and kills them. We know she kills them. We know she's killed them. We know she's done this. We know she's took part in this. She does that to get to Vader because he killed Force-sensitive people. So do you see how that doesn't make sense? She's after Vader because he killed younglings and that kind of thing. So to get to Vader, she kills youngling. Fucking, it's Hollywood. That is Hollywood for you. That just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. And again, we know we're getting to episode 6 where, oh, now she's a good guy. Fuck off. Go fuck yourself. You know, really. They're doing the same shit with Reva that they did with Doctor Strange 2, with Wanda. That's what they're doing. These women do some villainous fucking shit, and then you're supposed to just forgive them for that, yeah? No, I don't think so. Again, people are going to say, well, Vader was redeemed in... No, he wasn't. He wasn't fully redeemed. He's still done all that fucking atrocious shit. Still done it. Doesn't change anything. He's not now a good guy. But that's what they're doing. We know that. We know they do that with women that are villains. That's just what they do. Oh no, they're just misunderstood. We just seen her chop some hands off. Oh, but she's just misunderstood. You don't understand her. You don't know why she's still done it. She's still a villain. That's just what she is. Oh, this is taking a while to get through. I thought we'd only be about half an hour, but I think it's just as well. I didn't also add this part onto my episode 6 review, which I did do like a 10-minute overview thing. I was like, nah, that's shit. It was basically me just, and then, it was depression. It's depressing. That's just what it was. That's why I was like, maybe we'll just cut this bit out and do it again. Do it again, just do a separate video. But yeah, it's just as well considering the time we're going. So that is, episode 5. So that was what they were doing with Reva. That she's been hunting Vader this whole time. She works beside him. There's no hunting involved. She already knows where he is. She already knows where she already knows where he is, you dick. Right, so now I'm just trying to collect my thoughts. Just because this show is just laughable. It's laughable. It is. It just is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but anybody the people that wrote this show, I don't know, go back to school. That's what you need. That's really what you need. Because you're not good at your job. You're not good at your job, but in Hollywood, you fail upwards every day. That's just what happens. It's like even the guy, the guy that's doing what's he doing? The guy that wrote Doctor Strange 2. Wait, he originally wrote Loki, the Marvel series that was a disaster. He wrote Doctor Strange 2 that was a disaster. He's doing Kevin Feige's Star Wars film. They've given this guy a Star Wars film. And I think they gave him Fantastic Four as well. So, that's what happens in Hollywood. You fail upwards. So, it doesn't even matter if these writers don't fucking care if I say they're bad at their job. They don't care. Because they know they're still getting more work. Fucking dicks. I keep going on tangents here, but, you get my drift on that aspect of it. The writers should be embarrassed. I'd be very embarrassed if I wrote this. And I don't embarrass easy. So, episode 5, I fucking need to get back to... No wonder it's taking so fucking long. I need to get back to... So, yeah, that's what it was, right? So, yeah, and then Reva sneaks up on Vader, and it turns out Vader knew that she was a youngling all along. So now we know that Reva has not been brainwashed by the Empire. She hasn't been brainwashed by them. So everything she's done of her own accord. That's what she's done. So yeah, he's had her there the entire... No, I don't think so. But yeah, then this leads to a badly choreographed fucking fight. Where, yeah, Vader doesn't even really use a lightsaber, does he? He just uses the Force. But yeah, he stabs Reva, and when it comes to Vader, he just kills people. He don't fucking piss about. He doesn't piss about. He just kills them. He makes sure they're dead, because that's what he fails to do in Episode 5. He doesn't make sure they're dead, that she's dead, even though she should be fucking dead. She's just been stabbed. I'd say in the lung. Easily, at least, stabbed in the lung. But yet, she's alive. She lives. And this is also the second time. The second time in her life, she's been fucking stabbed by a lightsaber. And she's still alive. And I think there is a line in, like... There is a line, I think, in Episode 5 where... Because, of course, fucking white-faced twat comes along. That fucking weird villain. The Grand Inquisitor. What is it he says? Revenge will keep you alive, or something like that. Some shit like that. Because apparently in Star Wars, having hate for someone keeps you alive. Okay, whatever you say. But yeah, she survives. But, well, we also have to talk about the Grand Inquisitor surviving. So, he got stabbed in the stomach, and the defense that's been made is he has two stomachs. So he has two stomachs. So that's why he's alive. Even though we've seen him die. We've seen him die. Again, it's like people don't get the biology or something. It's like if you stab me in the, think of yourself. So, some things we've got two of. We've got two kidneys. What if one kidney gets taken out? If someone stabs me in one of the kidneys, I die. If someone stabs me in one of the lungs, I die. So this idea that he has two stomachs is, I'm saying he does have two stomachs, but that doesn't. Why would he live? I don't know. It's just fucking bullshit, isn't it? It's bullshit. These characters keep living. It's like, no, commit to shit. Commit to it. But again, when it came to the Grand Inquisitor, that seemed to be the only canon-breaking thing that the writers cared about. That they cared about. But again, when you do this type of thing, when you supposedly kill them off and bring them back, it stops people from caring. Because we'll see someone die, and then we go, well, they'd be back, wouldn't they? So what's the point in getting invested in it? So that's why when it came to, you shouldn't have just don't seemingly kill the Grand Inquisitor in the first place. That's your best option. But no. That was the only canon they cared about. Fuck the original trilogy. That's the message I got from it. So, all right, where were we now? Keep going off track here. But we're fucking far in now, anyway. I've got things to do, so I don't know how long we're gonna be. But so yeah, they get so eventually the rebels and Obi-Wan and Leia get away. They get away, and they're now on a ship. So now we go into Episode 6, where we also have to talk about that Reva. You know the little thing that so Obi-Wan can contact Organa. So the fake Jedi guy, he drops that, looks at it, doesn't bother picking it up. So now Reva finds it because she didn't die from getting stabbed. She finds it, and then she now knows that about Owen, about the children that they need to protect on Tatooine. So that's where she's going. So we start Episode 6 with her just being there. Her being there. How did she get there? What ship did she use? She's just been stabbed. It's not like she could do a load of running, is it? So I don't know how that makes sense. But no, we can't show that. We just have a teleport there. Just have a teleport there, because the time we've been given, we didn't use. We didn't use it. That's what pisses me off about these series. It's like they do 28-minute episodes, 30 minutes, 32, 40. I think the longest ones are 45. It's like you're doing something that doesn't have adverts. You can do 6-hour episodes. Or I recently just started watching season 4 of Stranger Things. They have, I think most of them about an hour and 15 minutes. And they do shit with them. They don't waste it. They don't wait. It's like, so, just to point out that, season 2 and season 3 of Stranger Things, shit. So, I skipped them. I think I watched part of the second season, and then I gave up on it because it went terrible. And then I heard that season 4 was good, so I thought, fuck it, I'll jump into that. I'll jump in. I don't. It's not like the greatest shit, but it's getting back on track from the first season. But that's what just to point out that, again, they have over hour episodes and they do shit with them. They don't waste time. They don't waste time. They also make use of their time. But that's one of the issues in this show. It's like when you're doing 32 minutes here, 40 minutes. No, just do 6 hours. That is plenty of time. Plenty of fucking time to do something good with. To flesh everything out. Didn't bother. They didn't bother. They just said, oh no, we do half-an-hour episodes. Even though we've got fucking all the time in the world. We really do. But no, this was... I guarantee you this Obi-Wan Kenobi series was one draft. I guarantee you that's how this show was written. The same with Boba Fett. Probably the same with Mandalorian. So, yeah, episode 6 is set up that way. So, yeah, she's on Tatooine looking for Owen. We get some Luke Skywalker in it. And, the other part of it is Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Rebel ship being followed by the... I keep forgetting the name of the ship. I really... it's something easy as well, but I just keep forgetting it. Darth Vader's like chasing them. Obi-Wan Kenobi decides, right, I'll go this way onto this planet, out like with the drop shit, because then Vader will follow me. And one thing I'm realizing now, because like you get the Grand Inquisitor saying to Vader, well, shouldn't we just go after the rebels? That's more important. But again, Darth Vader could have went after Kenobi and got the main ship to keep following the rebels. He didn't have to go, right, well, I'm going in a different ship, so you must stay here and wait for me. So, well, you've got a ship to leave and get to your ship. So yeah, that's what. So basically, episode 6 was just about Kenobi and Vader fighting again. Something I don't think we spoke. Well, no, we did speak about the meat. No, we didn't actually. No, I'm forgetting. Yeah. When it comes to Obi-Wan and Vader meeting, yeah, in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, it's not something that happened. It doesn't happen. I'm sorry. It doesn't. We know this by the line when Vader says in A New Hope. But, I've said it so many times at this point. Fucking hell. Because people keep trying to say it's the I haven't sensed line. It's like, no, that's not a line. No one's talking about that line. We're not talking about it. We're talking about when Vader says, when we, I'm kind of paraphrasing because I imagine I get some words wrong. But when we last met, I was but the learner. Now I'm the master. That tells us that during this time they didn't meet. I'm sorry, but they didn't. They didn't. It breaks the canon. It just does. So their second rematch, again, is something that doesn't happen. That's why I believe I've coined the perfect term. I've said it throughout these reviews, but it's twat fiction. I would call it fan fiction, but none of the people working on this are fans. They're not fans. They really aren't. Even you know, you've heard the main writer on the show said, "I've always loved Obi-Wan." It's just like, you destroyed his character, you prick. How can you possibly say you're a big? It's because they're not fans. And again, they don't have to be fans. They don't have to be fans. They just have to be good. They just have to be honest. They don't have to lie about they were fans. You know, really, all it comes down to is people that know the lore and the canon, and you can just be there to write, bring your quality to the table. But yeah, there was no quality in this show. Even for me, it's hard to pull anything out and spot things that are good when it's just surrounded by crap. Just makes it harder. But yeah, Vader, and that, yeah, they pretty much fight the entire episode. So that's all episode 6 is. It's, as I said in episode 6 review, it is just Vader and Kenobi fighting and Reva trying to kill Luke Skywalker. That's what they did with the finale. I can't believe it. I really can't. That's what you did with the finale. You did fuck all. You did no work. You did no legwork. You did no building up things. You did none of it. You're just like, well, this is our finale. This is our finale. Does my drawing look good? That's who these writers are. I guarantee you they're about 7 years old and they've drawn a zebra that looks like a fucking ambulance. That's basically what you could compare this show to. Someone thinking they've drawn a zebra, but in actuality they've drawn, let's just say, a stinking pile of shite. But yeah, that's their fight, and again, Kenobi can use his force powers to his full ability. They haven't built it up. They haven't built anything up to this. It's not like they've had him, you know, training throughout the series to try and get a handle and get back to where he was with his force powers. They haven't done any of that work. It's just like, right, we need it now. You know, we don't need it to begin with, but now we need it because we can't come up with a solution. So we just need to pick the obvious. Well, not the obvious, the easiest. The easiest that should make us embarrassed. So, and while all this is going on, you've got, you know, Reva wants to, again, her motivation is fucking so inconsistent throughout this. So originally, when we start off this series, you know, we'll talk about this when we get to the character part. Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there. I'm fucking running ahead here. But yeah, she wants to kill Luke Skywalker for some reason. The only reason I can think of is because even though she's never heard of him, never seen him, doesn't know who he is, because he reminds her of herself, because she was a child once. I don't know if that's what it was. Is that what it was? Oh, I was a child once. I'm going to kill you, little boy. So yeah, she's just fucking, I don't know what they're doing with her. I really don't. I really fucking don't. But yeah, of course that doesn't work out. She decides not to kill him. It's like, again, how many of these leaks came true? How many of them? You know, originally I thought Reva, because originally the leaks said that Reva was going to die, but she doesn't. We did see rumors of them doing a Reva series, but I think that's horseshit. I think that's bullshit. I think that was just like a clickbait thing. So, you know, you know, we're not getting a Reva series. They've got to be smart enough to realize fucking that nobody likes her character. And it's not because of Disney's reasoning that we hate black people. That's see if you believe that. It's like, yeah, that's not the reason why people don't like her. She's just not a well written, fleshed out character. She's not likable. She's not a good villain. She doesn't have any range. She's just one note. She's just angry. The acting is very poor, and I'm not saying she's a bad actress, but in this she is. I haven't seen her in anything else, so I can't say. But in this series, she's shit. And some of that, I imagine the majority of that comes down to the direction from Lucasfilm. So I wouldn't blame her, put the blame on her for all of that. You know, maybe partly, I don't know. But certainly the direction they've given her, it's like, well, it's obvious it's their fault because they've written this garbage story. So that's what it is. That's fucking Deborah Cho. That is, you know, Deborah Cho that said this, that said this series. It's like it's like the Joker. You fucking lying bitch. You lying bitch. I don't know how you can go out there and lie like that. But you know, I suppose she could make the case. Well, I was just delusional at that time. I was just delusional. I thought I thought what was good actually wasn't. But yeah, that so you can part of the is it Moses Ingram? Part of her, you know, acting. I think a lot of it just comes down on the direction they've given her. I'm not gonna fully blame her, but yeah, they don't give her any depth. Again, even with this stuff where well now she's really a good person. So they've just done that like without any build up to it. It's like when you introduced her in the first episode, you should have let us seen that aspect to her. That when it comes to doing this work for Vader, she's quite hesitant to do it. Or you can see by looking at her face that she's not happy about it. She's not proud of herself for doing what she's doing. You know, see if you provided something like that. This build up throughout the series that now she's works pretty well. It does, but they haven't given her any of that. They haven't. They've gave her. They've gave this woman dog shit to work with. And again, when it comes to Reva, it's like she's way down on the list of criticisms. But we all know Lucasfilm wheeled her out to stop criticism. We've seen what went down. If you subscribe to my channel, you know we've went over this. We went over all this stuff going down. So you know we don't need to get into specifics. Again, I fucked it because I've started talking about characters. I just realised I said right. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now I'm on that again. Fucking hell. So yeah, she of course. Well, you know the stuff between Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is there really anything to talk about with that? I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything to talk about with that aspect of it. Like within episode 6. So right, we need to get back on track here and get to. So Reva doesn't kill Luke Skywalker after all. Yeah, and then they have that conversation where Obi-Wan validates her bad behavior. And I'm just trying to fucking think here. It's really all there is to talk about when it comes to that, to be honest. That yeah, she's not redeemed. She's not redeemed. Again, Lucasfilm are trying, Disney are trying to get you to sympathize with her. It's the exact same template they did with Wanda Maximoff. They still want you to feel sorry for her, even though you know, especially when it comes to Wanda's fucking worse than her. Well, I suppose Reva's been killing children, so maybe not. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going to take her. I don't see them doing a spin-off for her, although I wouldn't be surprised. Because you start to notice that all these, like The Mandalorian, that turned into about fucking 40 spin-offs. They just kept introducing characters. Right, now we've got to give all these people shows. So, yeah, that's pretty much episode 6, and then you just get the scene at the end with... Well, not at the end, but before the last scene, where Obi-Wan Kenobi goes back to see Leia. And, you know, that I believe that is them trying to cover the fact that the transmission in A New Hope. Because Obi-Wan Kenobi says to Leia, you know, if you ever need a old man's help, let me know. Just don't let anyone else know, or some shit like that. I think they were trying to cover that canon breaking thing, but it was shit. It was very terrible. And then we just get the final scene where Obi-Wan says, goes and talks to Luke, and then we get Qui-Gon Jinn. Again, this is something else. Fuck off. Piss off. You haven't done the work for it. You have not worked. You have not worked at all to have this Qui-Gon Jinn thing. Think of how impactful that would have been if Kenobi had been trying to contact him throughout the entire series. One scene per episode, where he's just desperately trying to, because he needs Qui-Gon Jinn's advice. Even though I'm surprised with Obi-Wan having 10 years to connect with Qui-Gon Jinn, I'm surprised he hasn't done it before the events of this show. But yeah, that's something else. That's not a payoff. That is not a payoff. It's just right. Well, we need to throw Qui-Gon Jinn here. This will make all the people forget about the trash. It's all right seeing Qui-Gon Jinn, seeing Liam Neeson. So, but that's all there is to pull from it. And then that's the end of the series. Him just fucking off to his new home. And that's everything we need to go over, I think, for the plot stuff. Only took an hour, so something. So yeah, now we need to talk about it. So we just start with Obi-Wan Kenobi. So throughout this series, how they've assassinated this character, it is a character assassination. They've made him dumb, pathetic, cowardly. These are three things. How they've ruined him. It's like you go back to I'll say here the prequels aren't good movies. People like to use that defense when you criticize this show. They say, "Oh well, you think the prequels are good." It's like, I could still watch the prequels and be quite entertained by them. Where when it comes to Disney Star Wars, not so much. So yeah, that's like the aspects they've ruined him, is just making him completely stupid. Stupid. He's intelligent. He is a Jedi general. He's a general. He's a very, very intelligent man. But in this, he's lost that. Apparently, that's character development. Those were the defenses going about. Oh, well, he's just fucking... It's just character development. What, you wanted Obi-Wan Kenobi to be Obi-Wan Kenobi? Well, yeah. Yes, I did expect him to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. But yeah, apparently that's character development. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on it now. So that's really that's really the most annoying part of this show, is just the destruction of another character. Disney, how are Disney doing this? Unless they're doing it on purpose. I think they are at this point. So how many characters have they destroyed at this point? So many. And again, Obi-Wan Kenobi, that was their last shot. That was their last shot. They have no other characters to use. Well, at least they don't have anything coming up. This is really their last big thing, and they fucking squandered it. They've squandered the entire thing. So I'm just going to laugh at them, really. Just laugh at them. And just hope Star Wars dies fucking quicker, because it's just annoying me. So that's the aspects of Obi-Wan that shit. Vader, they did make him a bit silly, a bit stupid, a bit out of character, especially in terms of like this guy just kills people. He don't fuck about. He don't piss about. And again, like I mentioned in episode 6 review, like in episode 5 they show how strong Vader is when he rips apart the fucking the ship using the Force. He pulls the ship out of the fucking sky. But yeah, in that fight, in that final fight, it's like when you've done that, you're just like, how's Obi-Wan gonna? How's Kenobi gonna win now? How's he gonna win? So there is parts like that to it as well. And then we talk about Leia first. I mean, she was just annoying. Yeah, I didn't like her. She was a fucking annoying, very irritating. It's something else. That it's not the actress's fault. It's Lucasfilm's fault. The direction they gave her. But again, what I find hilarious about Leia is in this show, they try and present her as very, very intelligent, yet she's dumb as fuck. Like running away from Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know, all that sort of stuff. It's like, yeah, she's dumb as shit. She's dumb. That's why it makes it funnier that they're trying to present her as fucking intelligent. It's like, yeah, my left ball. That's what I want to talk about with Leia. And then again, when it comes to Reva, now we can finally get into our motivations. So originally, her motivation is she wants to find Kenobi for some reason. We learn in episode 5 that it's because where was he during Order 66? It's like that's the reason you want to kill someone. Okay. So that's originally her motivation. She just wants Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then in episode 4, it starts getting introduced about the pathway, about finding these young Jedis, these younglings, these Force-sensitive people. It's like, where the fuck did that come from? That originally, you know when she's questioning Leia about this, where the fuck did that come from? It's like, no, you originally just wanted Obi-Wan. Now you want to find the rebels. Make your fucking mind up, will you? Yeah, and then her motivations changed to, oh no, she really wanted to kill Darth Vader. Even though she's been working for him for fucking years. And she's only just now. It's like, how many opportunities you had to kill him? You've had fucking loads. We've had scenes of you standing right beside him. Even in that episode 5 where we get that revelation, it's like at the very start where she's on the bridge with on the bridge of the ship with Vader. It's like she could have struck him down then. There's fucking nobody around here that is gonna kill you for that. You know, they're not gonna be able to. They're not Jedis. They're not Force users. So they're not gonna do shit. And again, like I said, it's just so hilarious to me that the way they go about it, it's like she's been. We'll write this down as we go. So she's been going about killing. You know, we're just writing this down, just so we can do a little cycle. Killing younglings, Force sensitive, Jedi, whatever you want. Force sensitive, whatever. To kill Vader, right? To kill Vader, you know, we got to do this like math. To kill Vader for killing younglings, Jedi, for killing younglings. So you see how it fucking sounds. So yeah. So she goes about killing younglings, Force-sensitive people, Jedis, because she wants to kill Vader for killing younglings, Force-sensitive Jedis. Fuck me, that is shite. That is shit. I can't believe that. I really fucking can't believe that. that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. But then her motivations change again, don't they? Fucking for the 5th time. Where now she wants to kill Luke Skywalker. Someone she's never met, someone she's never heard of, someone she doesn't know. She wants to kill them for some reason. And like I said, the only thing I can pull from it is he reminds him of her. Where? Why? He's not a Jedi. He's not a youngling. Younglings are young Jedis. That's what that means. He's just a kid. To you, he's just a kid. Do you even know that he's Vader's son? I don't know if you do or not. So that's her motivation, and then yeah, that she doesn't follow through on it because I don't know. And then that's pretty much it, and that's pretty much it on Reva. It's just incredible. It's incredible, and I'm telling you, that's got to be the most hilarious part of this show is that she kills younglings to kill a man that kills younglings. It's like, I smell fucking hypocrisy. That's what I smell. Fucking hell. But again, it's like I said, when it comes to all of these things, like when you see characters being fucking idiots, that's because the people writing them are fucking idiots. It's not even on the characters, it's on the fucking people writing it. Oh, fucking hell. But, you know, I think that's pretty much it. That's really all I wanted to talk about. We did it, you know, it's over an hour, but uh, it's like I said, it was probably fucking best I didn't put this in my episode 6 review, because it'd be fucking 2.5 hours or something. But yeah, I'm just glad to be done with that show. I'm really glad to be done with it. But you know, the one thing I'm thankful for is that, you know, since I've been on YouTube, I've finally made it through an entire series and reviewed the entire series. Because most of the ones I've started to review, I've just gave up watching them. That's why I stopped doing the reviews. You know, it's quite hard to do. You know, I must be fucking an idiot, because yeah, I just don't like watching shit stuff. You know, I think that's what it comes down to. But yeah, I finally finished an entire series, including an overview. So, you know, congratulations are in order. But there's so much Star Wars content coming, and I just can't wait for it all to lead me to an early grave. That's kind of where I'm going with it. It's the same with everything now. It's just fucking consume. That's what it's like. You're just expected to just that's what you expected to do. Instead of just, how about we point out how this is bad, and then maybe the writers in the future, they improve. That's what happens, but no, you're not allowed to. You're just a toxic, racist, homophobic, sexist, whatever buzzword it may be. We'd rather just do that, because we don't want good things. We don't want things that are well written. No, we want trash. We want to, you know, sleep in a dumpster. You know, what do you want to do? Do you want to sleep in a dumpster, or you want to sleep in, let's just say, a Hilton hotel? What would you pick? Would you pick the dumpster? Probably not. I'd say probably not. You'd pick the Hilton, wouldn't you? So it's the same thing here. You either want to swim in the trash, in the sludge, or you want something good. And the only way to get things better is to point out how they're flawed. Then the writer sees the criticisms. Hopefully he doesn't see mine, because I've probably fucking ripped into them quite a bit. Well, no, hopefully he does see it. I'd find that quite funny. So that's really how I see it. You need to point out how things are bad, because otherwise you're doing these writers, no favors. You're doing them no favor. They're never gonna get good. They're never gonna get good. That's what pisses me off the most. It's like people like to act as if there's no improving on your craft. It's like, yeah, there is. Comes with everything. Always improve. Always try and improve. So look at your criticisms. Apply them. Apply yourself. But yeah, what next? There's so much there is loads of Star Wars stuff, by the way. Which I did show my last review, but the next thing is Andor. Will I review it? I don't fucking want to. I don't want to. I'm probably going to watch the first episode. I expect it to be dumb, and if it's dumb enough, I will review it. Because that's probably the only thing. The only thing I get out of this, like talking about Obi-Wan, I fucking don't look forward to watching the episodes, but I do look forward to doing reviews. I have a lot of fun with it. It's very enjoyable for me. So, you know, I hope you get that out of it as well. But yeah, that's what's next. Andor. You know, at least with Andor, it's going to be less shitting all over canon. So that's probably a plus. That's a plus already. But with it being Disney Star Wars, or Disney in general, I fully expect it to be shite. Terrible. Oh, fucking hell. There's so much of it. So much coming. Even this year. I think there's about 5 Star Wars shows this year. I think there's about 10 fucking Marvel things. Just kill me. But yeah, I'm working on a new project, which hopefully I should have somewhat done in a couple of weeks. That is if you've seen my Doctor Strange 2 review, it's going to be similar to that, except, you know what I'm going to do? You know, like the writers on Star Wars don't want to do, is I'm going to try and improve on my first full breakdown review. I'm going to try and improve it. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, that's so I'm kind of doing something now. It's with a certain dinosaur movie. That's all I'll say. You probably know what I'm talking about, so I've already probably gave it away. But I don't imagine most people are going to get this far into my review. So for those that did actually get this far, fucking well done, well done. It's been an hour and 20 minutes, at least to me. It depends how much I've got to trim off at the front or end. But yeah, an hour and 20 minutes. So I've got things to do now. Things to do. Not important things. Just like sort some things out. But yeah, that's kind of what I got coming. Is nice. Nice. Talking about another shite movie in autistic detail. That's kind of what I'm going for. So that should be fun. Hopefully, I improve. I want to improve. Hopefully, I improve upon my Doctor Strange 2 review. So that should be coming soon. Other than that, what's the next show we got coming up? Well, we do have Thor: Love and Thunder. Maybe I'll do like a full breakdown review for that one, I think. But TV-wise, what is there? I think the next thing is She-Hulk. So that'll be a lot. That'll be a barrel of fucking laughs. But I'll let you go. And as I say, for anyone that actually made it this far, thanks. And we'll be back with another series at some point. Star Wars, again, I'll probably end up doing Andor C. But let's just hope I'm reviewing something that's good. Maybe? Nah, I'm probably shit out of luck on that one.